Hey, what up all? Just a quick movie review about Spider-Man Homecoming. And just to start off with, I really love the movie. It's pretty good. So, let's see everything about it. It starts off with Toomes being in the salvage area where the first Avenger movies kicks off. And he's out there salvaging with a new crew and his old crew. And then the government steps in and says, hey, look, we're shutting this down. Stop what you're doing and return everything that you've taken. It now belongs to another company owned by Tony Stark. And it's the good old, I was going to say Wrecking Crew. Would have been good having the Wrecking Crew there. But it's not the Wrecking Crew. It's another one called Damage Control. And that's all part of the Spider-Man universe. And good old Toomes goes back to his warehouse. Very upset because, you know, it was his livelihood and now he's got no other way to make money, to pay back everything that he would have owed. And he does what any other sane man would do, turn to crime. I wouldn't do such a thing. That's not like me. But he turned to crime. So you really think, you really resonate with this guy because he would do what most people would do in his position. And it's pretty sad what's happened, but it makes the Vulture a likeable character. The crew that is in the Vulture's team there, one of them is called the Tinker. He's the one that created all the tech work for good old Toomes there. And then you have his second in command, the Shocker. I like to call him Shocker 1.0. Because partway through the movie he makes a stupid mistake and Toomes there accidentally kills him. So the Shocker 2.0 steps up and he does all that he can to support the crew. The Vulture there, I love his suit. When he first flew into the warehouse and came down, frickin' awesome. Wasn't a lot of action in here, but the action that was done wasn't too bad. It was a nice, small, timey feel, which is pretty much what the Spider-Man Homecoming is about. It's about a small-time superhero in a small-time community, and that is A-OK. So that was pretty much the background of the opening scene plus the evil guy Vulture. Vulture is definitely one of the best villains in the Marvel universe to date. I think he's better than Loki. Just saying it, he's better than Loki because you really relate to the guy. Next up we have good old Peter Parker, played by an actual teenager, where the other Peter Parkers weren't. They were trying to be little teenagers, but let's be honest, they weren't. And it's all about the teenage life and what he got up to, and we didn't see how his power manifest or how he got it, which is fine because we know, we should all know by now what Spider-Man is all about, and that's A-OK. Also, we get to see his best mate Ned. He's a bit of a character on there, and he stole the show for most people. I thought he was all good. Obviously he finds out who Spider-Man is and couldn't keep his mouth shut. Hilarious. And then we've got his love interest, which is Liz, trying to any teenager boy, you know, confesses his love, but not to them directly, but she knows, she finds out, and she likes him anyway. So it was good to see that bit of chemistry going on. The other chemistry, you could say, or another character that was there, you don't actually find out this person's name till the end of the movie. And when I was watching the whole thing, I thought her character was Madam Web. That's who I thought it was, until the big reveal at the end. Even though they said her name was Michelle, I didn't catch it at first. But all her friends call her MJ. MJ was Mary Jane, and we would have seen her before. So another character there in the high school, and it's Flash. Interesting note here that Flash Thompson is normally the big jock type of character, towers over Peter Parker and always torments him. Yes, this Flash torments Peter Parker, bullies him in a way, but you know, even though Peter Parker could beat him up, he doesn't do so, and he just takes it on the chin there and just carries on. What everyone else notices as well is that bullies come in all shapes and sizes. Doesn't need to be the big jock. So it's awesome seeing that Spider-Man Homecoming was about today's type of hero, if it happened in today's world. And you see a glimpse of it when he has his phone out and starts making home movies like we're doing right now, doing his little vlogs, which is awesome. And then we have Tony Stark, has a supporting role, a mentor type role, trying to help out good old Spider-Man. And in a way, it's pretty cool. And then I found out while doing researches that Tony Stark is trying to groom him into being the next Iron Man. The next Iron Man. Don't know how I feel about that. At this stage, good old Peter Parker is just a teenage boy, and he doesn't know what he wants, and we don't know how clever he really is. And this boy is a character all on his own that can branch out anywhere. There is the, if you remember the guy underneath the bridge, and he was meant to be buying some of the weapons, but he's like, no, it's too much. I just want, you know, something minor to stick somebody up with. I don't want to destroy the whole world, type of thing. Well, we get to see who he actually is, and a nod of the future Spider-Man. But we'll leave that there. If you don't know, then stick around, and then I might tell you later on. But yeah, that's a good nod for the Easter egg. Would have been nice seeing good old Stan Lee in the tower there. Some funny bits there. What I like about the action is it's not overly actiony there. There is parts there where he's real down to earth, and that's pretty much what this movie is all about. Small time hero in a small time world, and that's freaking amazing. What else do we have? We get the big reveal at the end when the Vulture is actually Liz's father, and then the whole car scene. What I liked about the car scene that everyone else probably liked as well is just having that interaction, that connection with good old Toomes, finding out who Spider-Man really is, even though Spider-Man knew straight away, or Peter Parker knew straight away who the Vulture was, who the Vulture was, and just on his toes pretty much throughout the whole scene. So it was good seeing that. And then the whole threatening pose afterwards. Better make sure you please my daughter, you know. Stole a father. It's good that the Vulture didn't turn into like an actual baddie where it's like it's all about the money. He still had morals and values, and at the end he still had his morals and values, and that's what I like about the Vulture or this character. Really good. Even at the end, the end fight, when keep thinking Superman, when Spider-Man saves his life, and the Vulture realizes what he's done, because obviously he tried to save him earlier, but you know, that's a whole scene that you can watch later on. Freaking amazing. And at the end, when he was confronted by a Scorpion, or the character that's going to play Scorpion, saying that, you know who Spider-Man is, who is he? Tell me. And with his moral compass, the Vulture declines. It says, if I knew him, I would have killed him. He obviously does know him, and he knows how good of a guy this person is. So it'll be interesting to see if we see the Vulture again. Does he turn into a goodie? He may actually turn into a goodie. It's plausible, it's possible, but it's not for reals. It's not, you know, anything can happen in the Marvel Universe. Anything. So, yeah, again, I do love the movie. The movie was flipping fantastic. Anything out of the ordinary, probably having Karen there Karen was the one that is a bit like Friday or Cosworth or what's his name? Oh, the computerized thing. But they're there because Spider-Man always talks too much. So he had to talk to somebody if there's no one in the actual frame. Funny how, and they made it clear that, you know, even Spider-Man, if there's no buildings around, he's still webbing like there's something that's out of frame that he's hanging on to. And there's a few scenes there where there's actually nothing there to actually web and swing from. So he's running down the golf park there. Freaking hilarious, freaking hilarious. Whole thing is amazing. Can't say much more because, you know, it's over 10 minutes already, and really, if you haven't seen it, I've just spoiled it for you. So it's your fault for watching this. And thank you if you have watched it and gone to the movies. Thank you very much, because, you know, got to help those that are there to act and entertain us. And it's good that they get paid for their hard work that they've put through. And yeah, again, Spider-Man Homecoming was pretty cool. I like to call Peter Parker the Origins. Probably not Peter Parker the Origins, but, you know, it was more about Peter Parker than Spider-Man, and that's freaking awesome. Okay, have a good one.